I'm Brianna,
And I'm Abby,
and this is Blessed.
and highly medicated. Did it.
We did. What are we, episode 13?
Yes.
That's also Taylor Swift's favorite number.
Oh,
It's
and
lucky.
our special guest today is come on in, Taylor. Don't be
Come on,
shy.
Tay Tay! Taylor and Travis.
Mm-hmm. Round of applause for them.
You guys just can't see them because they had to they signed a do not disclose
Mm,
non-disclosure. Yeah. So they're here, but you can't see them.
right. You just have to believe us,
Yeah.
as they should on
Anyways,
all things.
have a little faith. Yeah. Believe us, not anyone else. So, I did something new this week.
What?
I joined the Mahjong League in my town. So, uh, anyways, I'm a little more than a beginner, but
Okay.
I'm not quite intermediate, I wouldn't say. I feel like I learn something new every time I play. Have you played Mahjong?
No.
No? Okay. We'll get you there.
I know I give off old lady activities, but I don't have
No.
the patience of an old lady to
This is
learn.
this is no longer Florida elderly community game.
Okay.
This is uppity housewife people game. But I'm
Gotcha.
not a housewife, nor I don't think I'm uppity. So I'm trying to fit in here. No, I think it's getting really popular in the South and it's just now migrating up to the
Yeah, I
Midwest.
I've definitely seen millennials and people our age getting more and more into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bunko is out. Bunko
yeah,
is out, Bridge is out. It's mahjong time. But the problem with mahjong is you have to really focus, and depending on who you're playing with, they take it really seriously. Like, I was a little stressed last night, I'm not gonna lie. But, anyways, so it's my first night at the Mahjong League.
yeah.
And we're playing, I mean, the setup we're playing on is at minimum $650. At maximum, probably just under $900.
Okay,
Like with the
why?
whole setup. Because they get these bougie tiles that make my $80 ones from Amazon look like I got it from the knockoff store, the Five Below or something. I don't know. Um, so the tiles themselves are probably $475.
Wow.
And then
I
you
don't
have
get
to have a
it.
pretty mat to play on.
Of course.
Gorgeous mat. Gorgeous mat. And then you have to have nice racks to put your tiles on. And
You
then
gotta have
if
a nice
that's,
rack.
yeah, a nice rack. And then, because what girl doesn't need a nice rack? Um, and then if that wasn't enough, that you have to have a nice, pretty lamp in the middle.
We have to be able to see what you're
You have to be able to
playing.
see. I did turn on and off the lamp, and I noticed no difference. So
I have
then,
seen a video of people playing mahjong, and it's like a mahjong table, and they put all of their tiles in the middle, and then it spits them back out.
yes. So you can get extra fancy. Our
Like,
league currently does not have that that I'm aware of.
that feels seriously fancy, seriously expensive, and
So
it's
expensive.
definitely for people that have expendable money.
Yes, and so okay, some of these ladies, they have different sets and match to match the holidays that it is. So like Valentine's Day, I went to a Valentine's Day mahjong.
Hmm.
There were Valentine's Day tiles and mats. They're
That's
selling
crazy.
St. Patrick's ones. They came out with one for the Kentucky Derby.
That feels like a good match, though.
Yeah.
Kentucky
Yeah.
Derby and Mahjong.
That's there. So, Anyways, we're playing last night. It's my first time playing at the league, okay?
Okay.
And already I'm like feeling the pressure because I've been playing with beginners for a while, and this is my first time playing in the big boy. And so like I'm like not used to not having enough time to think. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to keep up. I don't want to slow anyone down. So anyways, this lady next to me, she ends up getting two mahjongs in a row. And uh, out of nowhere, the lady that was running the event, she's like, "Oh, I almost forgot." And she comes around to the tables and asks who's mahjed and how many times they've mahjed. And then she hands out these golden ducks. And then I'm looking at my lady on my right and I'm like, "You've got two golden ducks on your rack now." And I was like, "Okay, Brianna, we gotta buckle down because I'm not leaving out here without a golden duck."
No.
Now there's something on the line, and I want a golden duck.
And
And I modged, and I got a
oh,
golden duck.
she's gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful? It's my most prized possession currently, and I'm so proud of it. And I hope I just get a like a flock of these ducks.
Yes.
It's plastic.
D- It's not solid gold?
No, unfortunately. We'll work up to it.
Well, based on what you're
But
telling me, they should be able to afford it.
I mean, yeah. But
Beautiful.
yeah,
Don't let
I'm so proud
James
of
get a
that.
hold of that.
No, he wouldn't mess with it. He wouldn't dare. Anyways, we'll see how many I get. So it's going through the May 22nd or something like that. Maybe the last week in May. I don't know, before Memorial Day. So we'll see. I'll update you guys and let you know how many gold quacks I get.
Gold quacks.
I'm experimenting. This week on Blessed and Highly Flavored, I'm experimenting because I was going to bring the bread for Easter. This is going to be
Okay.
late by the time it comes out, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Easter. Um, you guys are time traveling into the past in your present.
Ooh.
Ooh, got to think about how that works. I'll do a diagram one day. Um, but I'm supposed to bring bread for Easter, and I was just gonna do my go-to one that everyone loves, the with the onion mix in it and
Mm-hmm.
cheese. And my grandma's like, "Can you make like a cinnamon sugar type bread?" And so I
Ooh.
was like, "I can try." So I'm going rogue and I have not looked at a recipe for it. I'm tweaking my current recipe and we'll see what we get.
That sounds so good, though.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like heavy cinnamon sugar. It's just going to be a nice light
Okay.
dinner roll cinnamon sugar type thing. I don't know. Or it might
Have
be
you
disgusting.
have you seen the video of the girl? I don't know if I sent it to you or not. That accidentally fed her starter with Sprite.
Oh no. I
I
bet
don't know
that
what
got it bubbly.
happened
Probably
or what
died.
happens, but wouldn't that make it taste weird even if you could use it?
Yeah, and then like how long, even if it was usable, how long before the Sprite wears off? I never understand that. Like how much of my starter is the OG starter?
Yeah.
What percentage?
It's like that thing of like if you keep replacing the wood on a boat, when does it stop being the boat that you started with?
Exactly. And our skin cells replace every 7 years. So you're not even you
That's pretty.
anymore.
No. I don't even recognize myself anymore.
Who are you? But yeah, what about
Yeah.
you? Did you have anything yummy?
Literally nothing, I don't think. You
What
know what
about
was
your
pretty.
latte?
Oh yeah, I had a cinnamon roll latte yesterday, and it was really good. Um, it was not overly sweet,
That's good.
which
That's
which I
important.
was glad about because sometimes you get lattes like that, and it is so like you can't drink it. It's like syrupy.
It's like
The
syrup.
Yeah, the place I went to like makes all of their own syrups and stuff, so I think they're able to control that better than just like the pump stuff.
Okay.
But it was really good. And then the other night for supper, trying to remember which day in a row, like this week has just like all blended together. It doesn't matter. Um, we had teriyaki chicken and vegetable stir fry from Trader Joe's,
Yum.
and it was so good. And
Good.
the chicken was good because like frozen chicken can be weird sometimes, even when they
Yeah.
say it's white meat. And but it was really good.
Good.
And we had it over rice, and I was very pleased with that. My mom cooked it, and I'm always pleased when my mom does the cooking.
Yes.
Uh,
Absolutely. Even if it's just heating it up.
yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
feel about all of that. But
Yeah.
not that I'm complaining when I cook. It's just easier to not have to think about it.
Yeah. It's exhausting if you think about I have to figure out what to cook and what to feed my family and what to eat. Roughly, for sure, at least 2 times a day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I didn't
pressure.
want to sign up for that. And like my
Well,
husband, he's never concerned about what we're gonna eat. And the thought probably crosses my mind at least 2 to 3 times a day. What are we gonna eat today? What are we gonna eat tomorrow? What do I need to buy from the grocery store?
but does it not cross his mind because he knows you'll take care of it, or
Yeah,
does it not cross his mind because he just doesn't care about food?
both. He knows I'll take care of it. He cares about food when he's hungry. The man, he could live off of hot Cheetos and bratwurst.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what
I get that.
if I was not in the picture, that's what he would be
That would be
eating.
his diet.
Yes. And boiled eggs.
I
Yeah.
love boiled eggs, but the combination just does not sound very good on a stomach.
Yeah, no, he would have a boiled egg for breakfast, hot Cheetos for lunch, bratwurst for dinner. That's what he would have.
He could just call it meal planning.
Yeah. There's no planning.
Uh,
That's what he would have.
yeah.
So
Like, oh no, I have it all prepped and ready to go.
it's all ready to go. It's the same thing every time. So,
Does
no.
your family have like Easter food traditions or an Easter tradition in general?
Um, I think we just normally do like a ham and that sort of thing. The generic ham, potatoes, bread. Yeah. Nothing too fancy. What about you?
That's how that's how we do it usually.
Yeah.
I can't like there's been years where we've had like more people or whatever. So occasionally we've like gone to brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not a ton, but it just was, more doable that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually we just have a ham. Now you have a question about your ham.
Okay.
Do you guys like do the ham up and stuff, or do you just cook it?
Whoever is in charge of the ham decides what they do with the ham. But normally we just heat it up. So like,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
that's what
Normally
we do.
it's either been pre-seasoned or pre-sugared, whoever is getting it, and then we just
Yeah,
put it in the oven and warm it up.
that's what we do too. But like I have been in the presence of ham
Mm-hmm.
that is extremely done up, and it's
Yeah.
got all this sauce stuff on it and the cloves poked in and all of that.
Yeah.
And I've never liked it like that.
Yeah. No, I just like my basic ham. I don't like sugary ham either.
I don't
Terry
either.
likes sugar ham. I don't like sugar ham.
Well, like it's the whole like I've been in places, especially Kentucky, where they'd be like, "Do you want city ham or country ham?"
Yeah. You're like,
Um,
oh,
uh, city
whichever
ham, I
one,
guess.
whichever one's saltier and not sweet.
Yeah. I will say though, at Cracker Barrel specifically, I will get the sugar cured ham because
Oh.
the country ham is so salty. It's
Oh.
like hard to eat.
Oh. You need to go there when you're having a flare.
Yeah. But like, yeah, and I'm so weird about ham. But like I think I've told you this before. Like, I don't really like deli ham or like sandwich meat, but I like a I don't know. They're all cured, but like
But
they
processed
yeah the
versus
process. Yeah,
yeah,
like a roasting ham.
cured versus processed. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
either. Um, and you could tell me they're the exact same, and I don't care. I still don't really like deli ham. It has a weird taste to me, but like it's not that deep to me. Um,
You're not eating it.
yeah, I won't be eating it. I will do turkey though.
Okay.
It tastes entirely different. Although, why is it that like turkey legs at like a fair or whatever taste like ham?
Do they really? I've
Oh
never
yeah,
thought about them tasting like ham.
because they're like cured and smoked, just
Oh.
like a big ham.
Man, I love a turkey leg.
Oh, me too.
I love a turkey leg.
Me too.
Mm, I could go for one right now.
Did you get one at Disney when you were there?
No. Okay, so that day my husband got one at Epcot. He ended up going around the world and he had his turkey leg in the Japanese pavilion. He got it from America, went to the Japanese pavilion,
It's
but I was
amazing.
sick. I was sick
Oh,
that
I
day.
forgot
I'm
about
pretty
that.
sure
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
a fever that day. Yeah. So I was very disappointed, but I really did want a turkey leg
I'll send you one
next
for your
time.
birthday.
Thank you. That would be amazing. I want it hand delivered
Yeah,
from
hand
the turkey
delivered.
man himself.
Yeah, with a candle in it.
Yeah, honestly, they should probably like drive around the neighborhoods with those.
People would eat it
I think I would order one. I would go out if I heard the turkey man coming by, I'd go get one. They
for
should also
sure.
do that with the coffee trucks. Like, can you imagine if they had coffee trucks going around the neighborhoods around from 6 to 8:30 every morning?
They traffic would get really bad though because
Not if it's in like the neighborhoods, like, the
maybe if it was a neighborhood like yours that has a
yeah.
clubhouse, they put it in that
Yeah.
parking lot.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna be down at the clubhouse
I
at
used to live
7 a.m." I
I
would
used to
go.
live in a neighborhood that had food truck Fridays.
Oh,
And so like every Friday, various types of food trucks would come in and
I like
we'd
that.
walk down and get the various things.
I like that.
In fact, they had one that was like a seafood boil food truck.
Mm.
We like walked down the block, got our seafood boil, brought it back home. It was delicious.
I think that's a great idea. I think more neighborhoods should do that.
I agree.
Yeah, but we want to hear from you. What's your favorite Easter food and traditions?
We do. Lay it on
Yeah,
us.
lay it on us. Did you hear that Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner are having a baby?
Yes. And if they do not name their child Taylor
Taylor
Lautner,
Lautner.
they have missed the greatest opportunity of their lives.
Yes, but I have thoughts on this. So, like, if they knew for sure they were only having one child, yes, name it Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, I didn't
But
think
then
about that.
how would you feel if you're baby number two? Would you also be named Taylor Lautner, or would you just be like, well, I'm just excluded from the Taylor Club?
I think they should pull a George Foreman,
Yes, yes,
where all of his kids' names are George Foreman, and they all either have a middle name or a nickname that they go by.
yes,
So it could all be Taylor something Lautner and then go by
yeah,
the middle name.
I like it.
Taylor's Lautner, if you're listening, we have found a solution for your baby naming problem. Hit us up.
Yes. Hit us up, let us know what you think. Also, good luck. You're gonna do great.
Yeah. Team Jacob.
Team Jacob, Team Taylor.
Team Taylor.
Team Taylor.
Isn't it funny
I want you to succeed.
that his two most famous relationships are both with Taylors?
Taylor's. And he is also a Taylor.
Yeah.
What?
So it seems like there's something happening there.
He's definitely naming his kid Taylor.
If he like, how could they not?
I think he has a weenie dog too. I also belong in the weenie dog cult.
I don't belong in the cult, but I have been called a weenie dog before.
Who called you a weenie dog? Some fifth grader at school. I'm gonna go get them.
No, I'm not long enough.
Yeah, no. And you're not long enough. You're not proportionate to be a mini weenie either. Like,
No, I kind of don't
yeah,
have a torso at all, and they're like
yeah,
all torso.
yeah, yeah. Emma keeps waiting for her legs to grow, but they're just not. And
They're
the
not
only
there
thing that's
yet.
growing on her is her belly. She
Got to
loves
get
the
in shape.
foods.
She's got to get in shape for bikini season.
Yeah. Fun fact, she's
Mm.
missing a nipple.
And how did you discover that?
Um, I don't know. I guess maybe I was looking and I thought it might have been a tick. And
Uh-huh.
then because there wasn't one on the other side, like I felt this bump one day. This was when she was young, and I thought
Uh-huh.
maybe it's a tick. And so I was like, well, if there's one on the other side, it's not a tick. It's a nipple.
Right.
But there wasn't one on the other side. And so I was like, she's missing a nipple. She only has seven. She has like four on one side and three on the other.
Can't say I've ever counted my dog's nipples, so
Well,
you're a better
you
dog
also
owner than
you
me.
have boy dogs, so
Yeah, they
do
don't
they
have
have nipples?
prominent. I don't think they have prominent
But my
nipples.
girls are fixed. My girls are fixed, so they don't have.
I
But
mean, my
it was still,
in, intact.
yeah, because she has been bitten by ticks before. So I
Yeah,
had to make sure it
yeah.
wasn't a tick. I'm pretty sure she was inbred because she had shark teeth.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. And then she had like bladder stone. She's got issues. The poor thing.
Well,
And she's
how old
not
is
all
she now?
there.
You've had her. What is she like 7?
She's seven.
That's what I thought. Because you had
Not
just
very smart.
got her like the summer before James was born.
Yeah, the right after we got married, we got her. Like the October, we got married in September and then we
Oh,
got
okay.
the weenie in October.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
the more you
so
know.
we are a podcast that has a funny name that
Yes.
is blessed and highly medicated. Now, while medicated can mean a lot of things, I think it doesn't literally just mean medicine, but it means like taking care of yourself. It means utilizing tools that God has given us or that God has given the ideas to other people to help us. And one of those things is taking care of your mental health. And there's a whole slew of mental health diagnoses and like problems that people deal with. I was diagnosed OCD when I was 5 years old, and generalized anxiety disorder. I've been on medicine for it since I was like 19 or 20. It works so well. However, how I describe it working is that it doesn't take all the scary thoughts away, but it lets me cope with them.
Okay.
Whereas before, I could have a scary thought and spiral and panic and it ruin my day and ruin, I mean, it would impact people around me. But
Yeah.
now I can have a scary thought and it's like, oh, that's just a thought. It's just in my head. There's
That's an
nothing to actually,
intrusive thought, and
yeah.
we don't have to give it any more
Hmm.
power.
Yeah. But something that probably has fascinated everybody is something that you're going to talk about
Yes.
that can be helped with therapies, medicines, other interventions. So, Brianna, do you want to take it away?
Yes. So today I want to talk about schizophrenia. And I want to do this just to kind of lessen the stigma. There's there's so many people that have various degrees of this, and
Hmm.
I think typically it's given a bad rep,
Yeah,
which no one wants to have schizophrenia, but it's not as scary as some people and sources make it out to be.
right.
Or, we shouldn't be afraid of someone with schizophrenia.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to go over a brief background of it. So, in ancient cultures, schizophrenia may not have had a name, but people were still afflicted with it, right? So
Yeah,
in ancient cultures, some people believed that schizophrenia was a medical condition and they treated it as such. And in some other cultures, it was dark. It meant that that person was possessed by evil spirits or, um, you know, just not right and it couldn't be helped,
yeah.
right? So the current nowadays definition of schizophrenia is it's a mental disorder that is characterized by disruptions in thought process, perceptions, emotional responsiveness, and social interactions.
Okay,
Okay, and there's now there used to just be it used to be just schizophrenia. But now there are categories and types. And depending on what someone has, depends on how they're treated and maybe their functional level.
gotcha.
So, um, paranoid schizophrenia is characterized by intense irrational delusions of persecution or maybe auditory hallucinations. They're just paranoid and, all the time.
That somebody's trying to get them, that something's about to happen. Like what type? Give
And
an example.
yeah, so it could be that the government has put, when they built my house, the government put uh, microphones in all of my outlets and they're listening to me.
Okay,
It could be that I'm afraid for my life for whatever reason. It could be I'm hearing someone talking to me and they're not there.
got it.
But I think that they're there. Or so very
Like
paranoid.
they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between one of their delusions or hallucinations
Yes.
and something that is real
Yes. So
happening.
like some people with paranoid schizophrenia, they have a family member or something and they're like, I'm sitting here talking to Taylor Swift. Is
Right,
Taylor Swift really here? Or, that sort of thing.
right. Okay,
Or I'm hearing her in my head and she's saying this. So
okay.
that sort of thing. Disorganized schizophrenia can have incoherent speech, uh, strange behaviors, or flat, inappropriate emotions, no affect, that sort of thing.
Mm,
Then there's another type that's a very severe type of schizophrenia. It's catatonic schizophrenia. And these people have abnormal motor activity. They may just sit and stare all day and, you
yeah.
can't really engage with them at all. Or they might kind of, move without any purpose, just, but they're catatonic. They're in a stupor. Um, then there's a residual schizophrenia, which I hadn't heard of before. Uh, I'm a nurse. I went through a psychiatric course and everything. Maybe I did learn about it, but it was news to me. My memory's not the best. But this person, I kind of feel like residual schizophrenia might be kind of like they're in remission a little bit. So they no
Yeah.
longer display prominent symptoms, but I'm guessing through treatment and that sort of thing, they have mild, uh, lingering signs of the illness, but it's not
Okay.
intense, intense. And then there's also just a basic undifferentiated schizophrenia, where their symptoms do not fit clearly into any one specific category or span. Uh, now, some people though with schizophrenia, it's often people think it is where they have multiple personalities, and
Oh.
that's actually not schizophrenia. That's a separate thing. So a lot of times the media has made it seem that schizophrenic people um, have multiple people in characters in their one body, in their one head.
Mm-hmm.
But that is actually an extremely rare condition called dissociative identity disorder. So it's
Okay.
separate from schizophrenia.
Okay.
But I think a lot of people think, oh, schizophrenic people are, you know, split personalities. That's
So
not the
with
case.
the type of schizophrenia where people like see like full visual hallucinations, is that
Hmm.
under the paranoid schizophrenia
Yes.
umbrella? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be under the paranoid umbrella. So, how many people on average have it? It's about 2.6 million people in America, or worldwide, 1% of the population has some degree of schizophrenia.
That feels like a lot.
I know, doesn't that seem like a lot?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But there's billions and billions of people.
right.
Yeah. But, okay. So, the oldest recorded description of something like schizophrenia actually dates back to ancient Egypt to 1550 BC.
Wow.
Yeah. But modernly, it was first described in the 19th century by Dr. Emil Kraepelin in Estonia. I probably did not say that right.
Okay.
And he tended to think that this was premature dementia that would continue to worsen over time. But later, Eugene Blulair, I probably didn't say that right either, continued Dr. Kraplin's work, and he was the one who first coined the term schizophrenia. Contrary to Kaplan, he thought that patients could improve over time.
Okay.
Before there was medicine to treat schizophrenia, what happened to these people? Well, a lot of them went to asylums.
Yeah.
And this is a place that patients would go with the idea that they would receive the care that they needed to be safe from bodily harm and to get treatment. Unfortunately, there were some asylums that were good and safe, and people did receive that, and nothing nefarious happened. But there were other asylums that were very abusive and negligent, and where patients had heinous acts done to them
Mm.
against their consent in the name of treatment or therapy or science or experimentation, really, is what it was.
That's wild.
Yes. And a lot of times these people didn't have loved ones looking after them. They're kind of like wards of the state. So, it really allowed for really bad things to happen to some people.
Yeah. Kind of treated like they're less than human.
Hmm. Yeah, and especially, I mean, if you're catatonic, you can't tell anyone
Right.
what's happening to you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, not good. So, the first patient documented to have paranoid schizophrenia is James Tilly Matthews. And this was in 1797, the 1790s, okay? He was sent to Paris for the British government as like a representative during the French Revolution. And he was imprisoned in France. Eventually, after things calmed down, they sent him back to London. Now, when James Tilly Matthews came back, he claimed that he had secret information and that the English Parliament was traitorous. Yes. Eventually, which I mean, he was in France learning. He was kind of important in the French Revolution as a British anyways. So I don't know. But who's to know, who's to say he wasn't privy to certain information?
Right.
Yeah. And they sent him to London, I think they call it Bedlam, but it's like Bethlehem Psychiatric Hospital in
Okay.
1797. He was sent there and he actually spent pretty much the remainder of his days
Oh,
in this
goodness.
facility. But he was a very smart and intelligent man. He actually, while he was committed, he constructed architectural improvement plans for the hospital that the hospital actually implemented some of his plans.
Wow.
Like he was an intelligent man.
I have
So,
heard that there are a lot of crossovers in that regard, that like there are many people with schizophrenia that have very high IQs.
yeah, they actually use some of these architectural plans. Uh, let's see. Matthews actually was able to document his own delusions.
That's interesting.
One of his most famous delusions. And, it really makes you wonder when you hear about this because he was a prisoner of war.
Hmm.
Okay. So in his delusions, it's called a gang of seven. And this gang of seven would torture him by sending him delusions to his head from a device called the heirloom. And he actually drew this as well, but it's a mind control machine that can remotely control thoughts of the victim.
Maybe he was onto something.
Wild. And so I was kind of thinking about it and I was like, could this machine be a way that he tried to make sense of his paranoid thoughts and where they came from? So he's like, I know I'm
Yeah.
having these thoughts and I know that they're delusions or whatever. This has to be where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's a
Or
pretty creative.
did he see something when he was in France?
Could have.
I mean, we can't ask him, but you know, it's nonetheless, he was a very intelligent man. And I think he understood that he was having delusions, even though he wasn't sure where they were coming from.
Right.
He was trying to make sense of it. But isn't that terrible? He thought this gang was sending him, the gang of seven would send him delusions to torture him. I mean, that just sounds
That's,
terrible.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
feeling like even if it's not real, that you can't like trust your own mind and you're
Yeah.
constantly looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. That
Can't
must
imagine
be
that.
terrifying. Another dark part of the history in schizophrenia was during Nazi Germany.
Hmm.
Thousands of people were imprisoned with schizophrenia, and they were experimented on and euthanized, trying
Ugh,
to eliminate schizophrenia from the population in the name of eugenics.
of course.
Yeah, terrible. So, anyways, there's some theories. And have you heard or did you see the documentary on HBO called Six Schizophrenic Brothers?
I've heard of it. I did not watch it.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out a couple years ago, and it was very fascinating. But it really does make you wonder, is it nature? Is it nurture? Is it both?
Like what
Because
causes it?
yeah,
Okay.
this family is the Galvin family, and there were 10 boys and 2 girls. 6 of the boys were diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Wow.
So this family actually provided a lot of research for schizophrenia. I
Hmm.
didn't think they did genetic workups on the mom and the sisters and some of the brothers as well to try and see was there a genetic marker. They were found to have a gene that could trigger schizophrenia, but they also, on top of having this gene that was from the mother, they had a very traumatic, stressful, somewhat abusive childhood. So
Oh.
that could have also triggered it. So there,
Why did they
people,
think
yeah,
it only was for those six and not the rest of the siblings?
maybe the gene
Oh, okay.
or the genetic marker. I don't think it's a gene. I think it's either a mutation. I don't know all the DNAs of it. But
Got it.
but yes. So it makes you then question, was it, would they have gotten it anyways if they were raised
Hmm.
in a very low stress, loving environment? Or did the environment trigger it? And they can't really say. They do say that a person that is related to someone with schizophrenia is at higher risk
Okay.
of getting it, but that doesn't mean that they will develop it. So I think
Interesting.
there's still a lot of research happening on what causes schizophrenia. Is it something that you would have just got anyways, or is it something that is triggered just by your environment, or is it a little of both? Because with this family, it seems like it's a little of both.
Yeah, you could be predisposed to it physiologically and then have
Hmm.
something psychologically trigger it.
Yeah, yeah. So oftentimes people who have schizophrenia are faced with stigmas. They're assumed to have, oh, this is where I was going to say that. They're assumed to have multi-personality disorders, which I touched on a little bit earlier, or dissociative identity disorder. Media oftentimes can portray them in movies or stories that you hear, news, that they're violent, they're dangerous, they're killers, they're possessed, they can't be trusted. So, it was found in a study that 70% of the population has some sort of fear of people with schizophrenia, and it's primarily due to misinformation. So
Mm.
that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it today, because I think people with this deserve to be recognized and understood. So oftentimes, unfortunately, stigmas lead to social isolation. People don't want to leave their house.
Yeah,
They feel shame for what they're experiencing. They won't talk to anyone about it because they know that that's not, they know there's a part of them that knows that that's not right, that's not real,
right, right.
but they can't tell people because they don't want to be thought of crazy or whatever.
Of
You know what I mean?
course.
So they're not getting help that they could, some of them. It's hard for some of these people to find work, hard to have housing, hard to maintain relationships.
Is it more
But
common in men than women?
I'm not sure. As far as that family goes, it was
Oh,
definitely,
okay.
I think if I remember correctly, and it's been a couple years since I watched it, it was passed through the mother to the boys, but potentially the daughters could pass it to. So it's like stagnant in the female, but she
Hmm.
can pass it on, I think.
Okay,
I could be wrong, and I'm totally fine if I'm wrong, but I think that's what I remember.
I got it.
Yeah, but it does affect women as well. But the good news is that we do have better medicine
Hmm.
nowadays, and most people with schizophrenia are able to be treated. They may not be able to be, they're not able to be cured, but their symptoms can be managed, which can improve their quality of life. So there's antipsychotic medications, there's cognitive behavioral therapy, there's community support, um, and that sort of thing.
What types of like when you say antipsychotic, like what is it doing for the person? How does it help um make make them better? How does it treat?
I guess it's probably similar to like, especially in the paranoid schizophrenia, like the OCD that you sometimes experience, that it makes it still there, but not prominent, not in. right up
Like
front.
they're still able to
They can
function and
rationalize.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So modern medicine is a blessing,
Absolutely.
but I want to talk about why, because like I said, I went to nursing school. I did psychiatric rotations, but schizophrenia has always stuck with me. And I think it's because of how misinformed I was going into
Mm,
school and then learning, oh my gosh, like that it's not what the media portrays it to be. I'm sitting there thinking it's the multiple personality disorder.
yeah.
Um, what's that movie? Split?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Seen that.
So, but it's not. But so one, I learned that my perception was wrong.
Yeah.
Two, my professor had us she was doing a research study, and we could either participate or not participate. And I participated. So what it was we had to sit in the computer lab or whatever, wherever it was, I don't know. And we had headphones and a CD player. And on repeat for several hours, we had to leave the headphones on at a certain volume and we had to complete tasks on the computer. And what happened was in our heads from the headphones, we were hearing voices. Some of the voices were nice, some were quiet, some talked, some made noises, some self-deprecated, some uh, told you good things, some were really innocent, some were very sinister, and and sometimes it would die down,
Uh-huh.
then it would come back, and then but it was several hours of voices in your head. So,
Freaky.
yes, and like it was very hard to complete tasks, especially depending on what the voices were saying or how
Right.
loud they were. And yeah,
That's
but you're
a
looking around and no one's there telling you anything, you know?
so you're like, I guess I gotta listen to this.
Yes. So it was very eye-opening to me to you're able to empathize with people more whenever you've gone through something. I'm not saying that my couple hours was anything close to what
Right.
schizophrenic people go through, but I can sympathize and empathize that what they're going through is real for them and
Yeah.
very intense and can be scary.
Yeah. I would probably give up after a few minutes on
You're like,
that
I can't
experiment.
do
I'd be like,
this.
okay, you know what? I get it. Never
I
mind.
believe you. Yeah. No, I thought it was really cool, honestly, to do that and to see to step into someone's shoes for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe we would be all be more empathetic if we did that. In nursing
Yeah.
school, we had to go do we had to go ride on the bus, the public transportation. We had to also ride around, the automatic wheelchairs at Walmart.
Yeah.
Ride around on that and make notes on how people looked at you or treated you with you on a mobility scooter.
That's like
That's
I feel like your school did a good job
They
of
did, but they might have
that kind
did
of
too
stuff.
good of a job because like honestly, I probably would have enjoyed Disney more on a mobility scooter just
You're
because I
probably
was
right.
putting my nervous system through trauma. Uh, but I was like, no, I'm not getting on that thing. I don't want people to look at me. But or
They're not
think,
looking at
wow,
you, they're
she's
looking
so
at Mickey.
lazy. But they probably don't even care because I don't think that about other people. But the voice in your
I get
head.
it. I get it.
Yeah. That's my 2 cents. Brief overview of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
schizophrenia, and I'm sure that I didn't get it all right. And feel free to correct or add to any of that
Of
in the
course.
comments.
But it's also like it's good that people are able to, with a lot of mental health medication in particular, and this probably goes for people with anxiety, people that are bipolar, schizophrenic, whatever. it can be really hard to stay compliant for a lot of people
Yes.
because as soon as they start to feel better, they're like, oh, I don't
Yes.
need my medicine anymore.
Yes.
And they get off of it and they spiral out of control again.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's where your support system really comes in.
yeah.
And people who have a good support system end up potentially, not always, but doing better
Yeah.
because if this is your family member with it, you can recognize the signs that,
Hmm.
hey, are you taking your medicine? Or maybe I need to watch you take it
Right.
because you recognize the beginnings of it. But if you don't have that support system, if you are kind of socially by yourself and isolated, then you don't have anyone that's checking in on you and making sure that you're
That's got to
doing
be
okay.
hard.
Or if your medication dose needs to be
Yeah,
adjusted.
there's no
If
one keeping you accountable.
Yeah. And that's where I think some of the homeless
Yeah.
can that have it can come into play as well. Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. It is hard. I wish there were no mental illnesses and I wish we were all healthy, but one day we'll be there when
Yeah. But until then, we like I said at the top, like we have tools that
hmm
come in forms of medicine and therapies and other people and prayer and also, I mean, healing. Like I believe
Yeah.
that God can absolutely heal people of literally anything. So,
Yes.
um, don't give up on don't give up on anything, literally. But like, don't
Yeah.
if you feel like mentally, for whatever reason, uh, you're not doing well, like don't give up on that because I think God can bring a purpose, even because I don't believe everything happens for a reason. I think
hmm
we live in a broken world and everything's messed
Yeah.
up.
And
But
bad
I
things happen.
because of sin, like they just do.
Yeah.
But I do believe that God can use anything that happens in our life for his
For his
good.
yeah.
And so, I think people, even people that don't necessarily struggle with their mental health, like that's something you have to remind yourself every day. Like, okay, like what the world meant for evil, God will mean for good. Like for my good and his glory. It makes me think of um Lazarus being dead for 3 days and then um, Jesus resurrecting him and his sisters say to Jesus, like, why did you take so long? Why were you should have been here days ago?
Yeah.
And Jesus is like, I did this so that I will be glorified.
hmm
I wouldn't be glorified if he was still alive.
Yeah. If I saved him right
What
after. Yeah.
what's the bigger miracle? Me keeping him from getting sick or me raising him from the dead?
Well, or even, decomposition would
Well,
have
that's what
set in by then as well. Like
in the
after
King
that many days,
In the King James version, it says he stinketh,
I bet he did stinketh. And so what even more of a miracle if he's at the point of stinkething
that he was made
that
whole
he was
and
resurrected.
non-stinky.
Because there would have been people that would have been like, he was just sleeping. He was in a little
Yeah.
bit, he was in a little bit of a coma.
No, I think that's exactly why Jesus did it. Like, meaning
Yeah.
he was good and dead.
Yeah, like that he was expired.
Yeah.
There was no coming back without Jesus.
No.
Yeah, so if he would have came sooner, there would have been I mean, I'm sure people still doubted,
Right.
but there would have been even more doubt. There would have been like,
Like, are you
I
sure
think
he
he was
wasn't?
just maybe snoozing.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any input on today's topic, feel free to let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you guys. And I really tried to do this. It is such a taboo topic, and I didn't want to step on any toes because I am not an expert. But I
Yeah.
really did want to share my experience, and I think it's good to bring some of this stuff to light so that we can have exposure and knowledge
Absolutely.
and not be misinformed and scared.
I agree completely.
And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, rate, do all the things, and you'll get 10 imaginary golden ducks.
Yeah.
We're sending them
Yeah,
to you right now.
yeah.
Hit that button. 10
Golden
imaginary golden
ducks.
ducks. You win.
They did it. I'm so proud of you guys.
Good job. We're gonna have to get more golden ducks.
We really are.
Yeah.
Um, I hope you guys stay blessed.
And highly medicated.
Woo.